A lot is happening in the BL space, and KinnPorsche the series managed to grab the headlines since the project was announced. And from the time the series got aired, too much is being talked, discussed, and debated about, where every single character is dissected in detail. In my very first video on KinnPorsche, I did mention that the authors had promised the larger audience regarding the changes that would be made in the adaptation of the novel, and that they respect the sentiments of the viewers. So for sure, they would tone down certain portions from the novel that they believe won't be suitable for the rendition. And as I said, the makers did make several changes to the original story and gave every actor an opportunity to play a character that will be remembered by the audience forever. And I claimed it back then with surety, not because I'm supporting the authors or the makers blindly, but because I have finished reading the Thai novel long back and did share the screenshot of the image where the authors promised to tone the language, making significant modifications to the adaptation. Now, since Filmania as a company was not financially independent, rendering them incapable of producing KinnPorsche the series, and the authors of KinnPorsche being cheated because of the unprofessionalism on the part of the previous production company, the rights of KinnPorsche was brought by BeOnCloud, a new production company that is making an impact with its every professional move and changing the way the BL industry works. But, given the kind of attention that KinnPorsche the series had garnered, all thanks to the terrific teaser that was released by Filmania, it would have been difficult for the audience to imagine new faces in the place of the characters that they have already fallen in love with. That's the reason BeOnCloud retained most of the actors that wanted to be a part of the project, despite it being in a limbo for a long time, while some actors parted ways since they had already given their dates to the other series. Jeff, who plays Kimhan and always wanted to be a part of this magnum opus. Although initially, he did audition for the role of Thankhun, the makers chose him to play the role of Kinn, which they believed would be a trump card of the storyline. And for the role of Porchay, although Gameplay auditioned with Filmania and was chosen to essay that character on screen, he left the project and Barcode was selected by BeOnCloud. And that's when the makers decided to give a different direction to the storyline of Kimhan and Porchay, given the age difference and the grey undertones of the characters. Kimhan has been shown as someone emotionally distant, cold, and very calculative in his approach, which is not how he is in the book. For some reason, the makers decided to make huge changes concerning the rendition in the case of Kimhan's character, because in the novel he isn't mentioned that much as compared to the screen space given to him. It could also be possible that since the talented Jeff is essaying that role, they made huge changes to the storyline, keeping his character arc in mind, who would be adding a huge value to the bigger plot by creating a certain sense of mystery around him. Throughout the first installment of the series, it was shown that Kim visually has the potential to be closer to his father or the idea of his family's power. Still, he purposely removes himself from their authority by choice. And in the novel, Kim is extremely protective and obsessed with Porchay, just like Kinn is with Porsche. But given that the actor who's playing the role of Porchay after Gameplay left the series for another project, the makers might have decided to keep the storyline of Kinn and Porchay pretty simple and not show anything inappropriate on screen, mainly because their relationship is a little complicated due to their age, social, and personality differences. Although it's pretty evident from the first season that though Porchay fell in love first, it's Kim who fell harder. Now, throughout the series, it was shown that Kinn has embraced his role as the heir. He's also slightly impulsive, edgy, and potentially reckless in comparison to the uptight personality of his father or even his brothers. Whereas Thankhun is furthest from being the heir or head of the family, since he has either been rejected or taken out of consideration despite being the oldest, because he lacks the resolve to be violent enough, which is much needed in the world of mafia. And that's the reason Kong chooses his youngest son to be the legal heir, since he is a perfect combination of his elder brothers, while still having the personality of his own, which is fearless and powerful, just like what his father was looking for. If we talk about KimChe's part in the novel, it's very brief and can be summarized in just one page. And in comparison to the series, Porchay is not that innocent in the novel. Kimhan and Porchay are more like background characters in the story, And the only time the narrative goes into detail about their characters is when Porchay gets kidnapped by Tawang. Kim and Che's love story in the series has undergone significant changes, and they have been presented in a way that will be suitable and acceptable to the larger audience. And I'm glad, unlike the book, the series gave this couple enough screen time, although the whole focus primarily was on the main lead and the second lead couple. Because if we go by the novel, they are a happy couple, and there is no drama or angst in their relationship. But since the makers have decided to show some complications, the further seasons of KinnPorsche will give more screen time to their story perhaps, once the focus and attention shifts from the main couple, that is Kinn and Porsche, since they will be in a stable relationship already. Before BeOnCloud could make an official announcement regarding the revival of the series, a huge hullabaloo was created regarding certain actors bidding goodbye to the project and that the series being shelved. But the larger BL audience, especially those that are new to the genre, need to understand that many a time, actors do leave a project before the beginning of the shoot if it clashes with some other project in which they are already completely involved. And this isn't something new in the glamour and entertainment industry. And KinnPorsche the series is no exception to this. Many BL projects are still on hold given the global pandemic. Only big production companies that were able to finish the project on time did air it as planned. In fact, some of the BL series from relatively more minor independent production companies are finding it hard to survive and thrive, since their projects are on hold for much longer than expected. While some BL projects are cancelled, either because of some clashes between the author and the makers, or for some other reason unknown, since it was never made public. But with KinnPorsche the series, it was worth the wait, because the authors and the makers have done an outstanding job in giving the audience not only something meaningful to enjoy, but they have redefined professionalism and standards of high ethics in the BL industry. That's the reason the producers took the challenge head-on, and despite facing financial challenges, started everything from scratch and decided to give a new meaning to everything related to boys' love genre. Right from the start, the authors have assured the fans of KinnPorsche that they won't be let down, and neither will the actors be left in limbo for no fault of theirs. For sure, they'll figure out a strategy so that one of the most anticipated BL series isn't that easily forgotten. And they did that, which isn't a joke. BL cannot be called a sub-genre anymore, because it's still evolving. And for a new production company to have a vision and power like that of an already well-established entertainment conglomerate, it's demanding and equally remarkable to say the least. That's the exact reason they sold the streaming rights to HEE, which delved into its first boys' love series with the Thai project KimPorsche the series La Porchay. And they surely gave a tough competition to the other BL series that aired at the same time, and have raised the standard of production extremely high by harnessing the potential of the BL industry experts that to qualify to their level would be a real challenge and fun for others wanting to explore the mafia storyline in the BL genre. Thank you so much guys for listening to me so very patiently. Hope you enjoyed the video. Lots more awesome BL content coming up, so stay tuned for more. By the way, this is my original voice and not that of a robot.